Quick time lapse, mostly working on some characters and just loosening up, and I guess this will be the main topic of this video. I'm trying my best to keep it short, so that's why everything's going fast and high speed, and so will I. The whole concept of loosening up. This is one particular example, or this set of sketches, where half of it I was watching or listening to a video in the back, and the other half I was able to let my mind fully concentrate on the drawing. So, of course, here when it comes to proportions and such, I just try to improvise as much as I can when it's just beginning to draw loosely, either with shapes, either with positions and such. And oddly enough, I do have this odd mindset of thinking about how would this look in a TV show, in a sense. Uh, Basically, when it comes to this character, okay, how would this character act in a TV show? What would be this character's general acting and emotions? And then I kind of start a drawing off that. It's a tad bit weird because it gets me into I find it a fun zone where positioning kind of becomes easier. I go with shapes instead of being very, how do you say, being very academic with the position or with the pose. So it throws me into a different mindset, and it's always good to have multiple approaches. Shapes I've learned from the book called Force Key to Life Drawing, or Dynamic Life Drawing. And then I do know other approaches, other academical approaches, which will help me build the figure from the get-go. But this time around, I was thinking about shape. How would the shape looks? How would this character act? A bit of a wacky type of priest character. Imagine as annoying as Navi, but supposed to have better powers, better holy powers. So I don't really tend to be too tight when it comes to sketching. I just go for broke. And one very key thing that took me a while to learn is just run with what you do, Bob Ross style, where even if you feel like something that you've set down is a mistake, just run with it because you'll learn from that either mistake or possible fix. You know, you can always land on happy accidents. So something that I haven't really been able to display in this particular set, but I will display into the other set of sketches, is when your mind, when your head is fully concentrating on the drawing, you'll start thinking alternatively about um, skin texture, clothing, feeling, clothing textures and such, and the effect of gravity on clothes and hair. Like there's a whole different mindset that you'll kind of dive into, which is very interesting if you kind of want to add a bit more realism, quote unquote, to your drawing by playing with physics, by playing with lights and shadows, and just messing around that way. But the key term or the key rule is just staying loose, or else you're going to get hung up on small things and you're not going to try to get the general picture of what you want. And here, the general picture was just bring out this character's attitude and messing around with the type of personality that he has. Something else that I should do in the future, if I'm going to bring back this character for other volumes, which is going to happen in extra stage, is just playing with character interaction. How does one character see this other character and such things? Like in your group of friend, how does one friend spot or deems another and such? So it's a large amount of things to consider when you're building characters and building a world. And again, you'll find a lot of references to do so, and a lot of tips and tricks. Just accumulate all the tools that you can, or all the tools that you need to get the proper drawing, meaning learn your traditional type of stuff and then venture off into, I don't know, comic book drawing, manga, and mix and match, because you don't want to stay stuck on a single technique and basically not be able to use all the tools that you need. It's a weird concept, I know, but it kind of makes sense the more you draw and the more mileage you get. But always got to do this back and forth between studying and doing your own thing. And it's hard, but you'll get to it. I mean, up to now, I am slowly dabbling into more complex lighting. I do want to tackle on cast shadow and different kind of lighting. Like right now, this is the set where I just focused on the drawing and took away when it comes to, how do I say, took away the videos, stopped listening to videos in the background, stopped listening to documentaries. And here I kind of tackle on this character, this ninja type character, in much more of a analysis type of way, where okay, I'm gonna do a quick drawing, let's try to draw the hand. And at one point I just kind of got stuck with the character's right hand, and I just took the pose, you'll see, and I took my mirror, set up the pose, and try to figure out, okay, well, where are the fingers placed in this specific angle. And this is where I kind of notice, okay, well, the middle finger is usually the longest, but not in this case because of the position. It kind of gave me a little bit of an optical illusion towards the position of the finger, and thus I placed the thumb in red just to say, okay, well, the thumb is hidden behind everything else that I've got going behind the two fingers. So just keeping positions in check. And another thing, like especially with the sketch I'm currently doing, I tried holding the position at one point because I wanted to feel the tension of the arm, which is something that you can always emphasize when you're doing drawings. Well, something you can and should emphasize when it comes to animation type of drawing. Like right there, I was using Ryu for perspective. Also a great trick if you have action figures that, have volume, use it for perspective. Don't be shy. And you can also use these action figures for lighting reference if they have good details. So I was kind of lucky to have kept my old Ryu figure that I've won in the Marvel vs. Capcom tournament, because I can use it to gauge volumes in perspective, in giving me slightly more int than the wooden figure would. And at the same time, I can always do light tests on it by shining a little light I have on my left. No, yeah, I do have it on my left. It's not on camera. It's another smaller light that I can shine right on top, and it would give me good volume for lighting. And here, when I started this drawing, if you go back a bit more, I started out with a strong gesture. The main objective was having the character run as low as that character could. So the gesture started with a motion, the type of motion, your typical running motion, but trying to understand and feel how it would feel to run, but exaggerating it as low as placing the character as low as I could. And another effect from running, when you think, okay, the whole thought process begins because you're running, okay, how does my hand move? How does my hand go? How does the clothing go? And there's a large amount of things you'll start thinking about at the same time. And right there, when I started a final pose, again, starting with a bit more of a shape type of gesture, but at the same time going, okay, well, what's holding the position? What's putting tension at the beginning? How does the tension go all the way up to the body? So of course the hand is going to be placed on the ground. There's multiple ways to making it look better, again, by showing tension and such. And the same goes with the left leg that I've placed. Of course it's a bending leg, but the weird idea I was trying to go for was this character dropping in at high speed. So a bit of a mess up there, especially when it comes to the initial gesture, where you kind of have to consider clothing a bit, but you can't remain stuck on a single part of the drawing. And that's where I kind of saw that this particular sketch was, not really going too well. So I kind of doubled down. Instead of quitting on the sketch, I just said, okay, well, look, I want to play with light because this character uses a light as a weapon. And with light, I kind of went into, okay, well, let's do a mock shade, let's do a quick shade, see how the shadows would be placed quickly, and then let's investigate, what about cast shadow? How would it land? And cast shadow is a whole beast to fight, but Cast Shadow is always a very useful tool to verify the positions of what you've placed. Like the head, put a cast shadow on this particular knee because the light comes from the other side, and it's a whole different beast to study and learn. Yet, hey, you take your time, you learn that kind of stuff, you watch it as you walk along in the streets or you interact in your normal environment, and then you use it in your drawing. And of course, I added a little sketch saying, yeah, I really need to study light. It's the next thing I want to just pose more time. But again, time is needed, and a schedule is also needed. So hey, I am hoping you learn a couple of more things. A couple of more things if it helps you. If it's not, I will be doing some more Patreon video this month because I'm ending on the animation contract, and I'll see if I can show the final results there as a quick preview. But there will be more breakdowns of extra stage type of related stuff along with channel drawing coming up soon. Thanks again, guys, and everything's in the description. Like and subscribe. Meow. Later, guys.